Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here, and welcome to the conclusion of the deep dive into Shadows of Brimstone. This video is going to be just kind of a wrap-up video. I want to talk just about a few things, and then we're going to do one more Shadows of Brimstone giveaway, so stay tuned for that. And then kind of just talk a little bit about what is coming next on the Dungeon Dive. So I know some of you have, because of this series and because of some of my videos, some of you have started reading the Merkaba Rider series from Edward M. Erlach, and that makes me so happy because these books are fantastic. I know some of you also have started reading some of these splatter westerns. We took a look at these. This is the first one here, The Magpie Coffin. I believe there are 8 books in this series so far. So that makes me very happy too. I'm hoping that some people maybe move on to read Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry, probably my favorite novel of all time. It's either this or Dahlgren by Samuel R. Delany. But Lonesome Dove is very much the American Lord of the Rings. And I don't say that with any amount of like hyperbole or irony or anything. Instead of a story about 2 friends taking a ring to a volcano, it's a story about 2 friends who are taking a herd of cattle to Montana. And it is just as much of a fantastic, epic adventure. It just so happens to be set in our real world. And I love Westerns. I love Western things. I'm hoping that I've maybe encouraged some people to check out movies like The Master Gunfighter or Red Sun or Zipangu or Sukiyaki Western Django. There's just the Western setting and the Western genre is just, it's such a pure kind of storytelling, and that's why I like it so much. And when you start working in the weird Western tropes and conventions, well, then you just get even these like more and more wild and amazing stories. And Shadows of Brimstone really does fit in with that that genre as a whole, because it too is a delivery mechanism for stories. And you can, along with Hexcrawl, you can create for yourself and for a group of friends some incredibly memorable and amazing adventures and stories, things that your heroes went through, moving across the Western land, moving across the region of Brimstone, fighting monsters, finding loot and treasure, meeting those NPCs that you will populate your town with. And there are so many opportunities with the game to just create your own world and your own adventures and experience the adventures and the world that Flying Frog has created for you to experience. I think my main problem with Shadows of Brimstone is just the amount of stuff. It's too much. If I was just getting into the game today, I would definitely be more discerning with the things that I have purchased. I would do 2 things. One, I would not start sleeving my cards. I started that and I sleeved so many that now I might as well just continue. I wish I wouldn't have, but and 2, I would be more discerning with what I buy, because as you get more and more and more, it is a game that I think gets better with more and more and more. But there is a point of diminishing returns. There is a point where the amount of stuff becomes more of a burden than a bonus. And I think I am well past that point. And so that's why I always play with only a subset of what I own. If I were to play with everything, it would just become too overwhelming. I don't have the room, I don't have the space for the kind of storage you need to accomplish that. I know some people do. but that really is my only real issue, like, with getting into the game. You know, it is a lifestyle game. It's a game that can consume all of your time and money, that's for sure. But it's also, there really is no other game like it. If you want to really get into a game world and experience that kind of thing like you would with a game like Dungeons and Dragons, or any great RPG, but you want to do that in a board game style setting, you know, Shadows of Brimstone is that game. Maybe something like Kingdom Death Monster might also give you that itch, but I don't get that same, like, I don't get the same sense of adventure in Kingdom Death Monster. Shadows of Brimstone just gives me that epic adventure where you're setting off into the sunset and you never know what you're going to find. So yeah, fantastic game. And I hope you guys enjoyed this deep dive. I know some people didn't, but you know, we're going to move on. We're going to do all kinds of new things now, and all kinds of stuff will be coming up on the channel. So the final giveaway is going to be for the Ninja Clan Deluxe Expansion non-retail version. So like the other giveaways, that is available to the to my patrons at the Treasure Chamber level. So that's $5 a month. So you can head over to the Patreon. There's a link in the description, and sign up and comment on that thread that I started there today. And I will pick a winner next Saturday, the 27th. So I just wanted to, you know, I try to do giveaways every once in a while to say thank you to my patrons. It really means a lot to me. And it's super important for me to continue to do the Dungeon Dive being 100% ad-free and sponsorship-free. The amount of ads on YouTube is just getting insane. It's turning into just like old network television. And so I really, you know, I don't want to subject you guys to ads, but having a little bit of financial help does help me bring on more and new things to the channel. So I really appreciate all the support that I've gotten so far. It does really mean a lot to me. And if you can't or you don't want to, that's fine too, no obligation. But if you do like what I'm doing, please help me by maybe spreading the word. If you liked this particular series here, maybe send a copy of the a link to the playlist to the Flying Frog guys, and just let them know, like, hey, this guy over here, Daniel at the Dungeon Dive, he's doing a, you know, he did this great Shadows of Brimstone series. Check it out. You know, maybe they'll share it with their fans, and maybe send some more people over to the Dungeon Dive. So yeah, so what's up next on the Dungeon Dive? We are done with Shadows of Brimstone. You won't see any more for quite a while. I'll probably revisit it once the feudal village comes back in. But next up, and set up on my table right now, is Darker Darkest. So this was voted on by the patrons as the next game to take a look at. I've had it for a couple years and have never even set it up. So I am excited to get that set up on the table. Let's see, after that, we're going to probably take a look at Defenders of the Last Stand, and a game called Dream Wars, which is kind of like kind of steampunk Arkham horror, I guess you could call it. And let's see, what was after that? I think after that, we will probably do a look at Siege of the Citadel. Maybe not a really comparison video, but we'll take a look at first edition and the newly delivered second edition. And we're going to take a look at a couple of oddities. This game called Talonguard, which, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. What a weird situation this was. And then I'm going to take a look at Return of the Heroes and Hero Path. Return of the Heroes and Hero Path are both games that look like they're from the 80s, but they're not. Hero Path is from like 2 years ago, and Return of the Heroes is from the early 2000s, but they both look like they fell out of some time warp from the 80s. And then I think there's going to be some new stuff coming. Dungeons of Infinity should be shipping soon. Really excited for that. Chronicles of Druganor is actually like shipping soon, or maybe it is already on the boats. I'm really surprised that that is hitting so soon. I thought for sure that would be delayed another year or so. And then I think Ghosts Betwixt should be hitting soon. So yeah, lots of new stuff coming. So for those of you who don't like Shadows of Brimstone, if you're still subscribed and watching the channel, then hey, you've got some non-Shadows of Brimstone stuff to look forward to. So all right, guys, well, that's it. I just wanted to do a wrap up, touch on that, the Patreon and the last giveaway, and then take a look at what is coming to the Dungeon Dive next. All right, guys, take it easy. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.